How's everybody doing? What is going on, everybody? Greetings, space gamers, and everyone in between. Wherever you are, thanks for hanging out with me. I'm Astro Nesto, your host in this safe space for bad gameplay, bad RP, and general sci-fi shenanigans. We like to have fun here, and I'm glad you're here. So how was everybody's weekend going? And what a weekend it has been. No Man's Sky dropped their 4.0 update, and it was a big one. I think we'll talk more about that on Monday night. But this morning, the big news in Star Citizen was over Citizencon 2952. And dare I say it might have been the best Citizencon yet? Although the end was a little painful for me to get through. Although, no offense, Chris Roberts, love you. Love hearing everything you have to say. And boy, did you have a lot to say. Anyway, there's a lot to unpack, and I wanted to talk a little bit about it before we get into the gameplay and before we try out this year's new vehicle that dropped out with Citizencon. So let's dive into it. Something about this beat, I just can't get enough of it. But it might be a little hard for me to concentrate and talk with it going, so let's just adjust a little. All right, so Citizencon 2952. The Journey to 4.0, I believe, is the theme this year, which we've all been excitedly waiting for, right? Am I right about that? I know I have. Anyway, they broke it up into different sections. I didn't get to catch every little detail of every section, just because today was a busy day for me, and I caught what I could. I pretty much touched on every segment, but I just wanted to talk about some of the things that stood out to me and see what you guys thought about it as well. Let me know if I'm missing anything, by the way. There was so much information to cover there, but all good stuff as usual. And like I said, I think it's one of the better ones, so if you haven't had a chance to check it out, go to this page here and rewatch some of the segments. It's really a lot of good information to unpack if you're a fan of the project, and I think they gave us some hope for the future. Some things to look forward to in 4.0, which should be dropping soon, right? All right, let's start out with the planetary Pyro stuff that they talked about. Some of the things that I grabbed from what they talked about here in the Pyro section is they kind of went through a lot of the planets in the Pyro system that they're developing. And a lot of it was a lot of really specific technical jargon stuff, but it looks pretty good to me, as you can see here in some of these pictures in the video segment. They even had some volcanic atmospheres, some really harsh environments, which I think we were all kind of expecting with Pyro. But for some reason, I don't know, I expected a little bit harsher environments than we saw. Like there was some beauty in there. Don't get me wrong, there are some volcanic areas, but I just kind of had this idea of this being like a depressed Mad Max apocalyptic thing. And I mean, it's kind of barren from what we see here, but it didn't quite give me those Mustafar violent volcanic vibes, even in the volcanic areas that they did show, there wasn't like lava spewing all over the place or anything like that. Nothing like where Darth Vader lives or anything like that. So, but you know, this is the first pass. It looks pretty good so far. Who knows? Maybe they're going to add some more. It's not like the Stanton system's done either, right? So, but anyway, from what I saw here, I'm like, this looks more impressive than Stanton in a lot of ways. Why don't they I just can't wait for them to just pump it out. Give it to us, you know? I'm sure you guys are going to continue to work on it like you're working on the Stanton moons, right? So anyway, looks good to me so far. I'm looking forward to it. I think we're looking at 4.0 later on this year. Well, actually, we're in the fourth quarter, so it's got to be soon, right? But yeah, it looks like good stuff to me. I'm not sure I'd want to live in Pyro, but it looks like it's shaping up. Anyway, moving along, they talked about investigation missions next, I believe. They did a segment on, let's see, what were they calling it specifically? The design brief investigations missions. That was a segment that they talked about, like a new mission type that they're adding in. Looks like you're going to be getting like well, it was a little confusing for me because they kind of spoke in generalities. Apparently, they want us to feel like Dick Tracy or Sherlock Holmes, where you have to do some real investigative type stuff. But I'm the kind of guy where, like, unless I see it, I'm just really not going to get the full feel of it, right? So, I mean, I hope it's more than just the derelict missions or the stuff that we have right now, like the Kovlex shipping hub stuff, where you just kind of like find the right person and then poof, it's all over, the mystery solved. So hopefully in this one, you know, you really get to go in there and really feel like you're putting together a mystery, really determine why a ship might be a derelict like it is back here, like what might have happened here that caused this. Maybe you feel like a claims adjuster, you know, investigating some of these crash sites, you know, for Kovlex or some of these companies. I hope they do it right because, I mean, don't get me wrong, and no offense to anybody who might have worked on some of this stuff here, but, you know, Siege of Orison wasn't I mean, while it was a great achievement, it wasn't exactly everything that I wanted. I didn't quite enjoy it as much as I thought I would. And Nine Tails, I'm still a little shaky on how that one works. And then, you know, the new Jump Town, it's kind of hit or miss in some areas, you know. I like Xenothreat myself personally, but, you know, and I know a lot of these, they're taking feedback from us and they're developing it, so I'm cautiously optimistic about Investigations. We'll see how that goes. Let me know what you guys think, or what your impression it was of this segment here. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I should be a little bit more optimistic. It's not like I'm down on it, but I just feel like I gotta see it, right? Gotta have it in my hands so I can feel it. All right, moving along. They talked about underground structures, I believe. Let's pause this gentleman here. So again, a lot of concept art for how they're redesigning bunkers and some underground facilities. Looks pretty good in concept, but, you know, again, I'm just gonna have to see what it looks like, right? But it does look pretty impressive here. I didn't get to quite finish this segment exactly. So I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in here that I am missing, but I was pretty encouraged with what I saw here in the level design. It wasn't exactly my most exciting thing that I was looking forward to, though. But, you know, it's always nice to see what direction the developers are going in and where they want to take things and what we might see. So we got, you know, a little taste of that in this segment here. But, nothing that really blew me away. I don't know why. I mean, it looked nice. The stuff looks pretty interesting, right? But, again, we'll have to see. When we get 4.0 in our hands and it's there and I'm running around in it, maybe I'll be, like, really blown away. But I'm really cautiously optimistic. I'm going to use that term for this year. Anyway, coming up, let's see what the next segment was. I believe it had something to do with the need for speed. Yes. Which is a segment that really focuses on the flight mechanics and what they want to do with that. I can't really say, though, that I understood everything that they were going for here. It seems like they're really in tune with a lot of what's going on with the flight mechanics and where people are complaining about combat. I'm going to have to rewatch this segment just to get a little bit deeper into some of the new flight modes that they're adding in there. I think Yogi and a bunch of the developers spent some time talking about how the speeds work and how, you know, you're achieving certain speeds, but not maybe the maximum speed that you can get, how it affects maneuverability. Sounds like it's not a total rework of the flight mechanic, but they're going to be adding in some new flight modes. Like, I think they talked about Quantum Boost being like a sort of a way to get from short distances, not long distances, like super fast. I'm not quite unsure if, like, when you're in quantum jump, you know, how when you're traveling really long distances from planet to planet, if you're going to be able to boost and kind of cut down that time just a little bit, that'd be kind of nice. But again, I'm going to have to rewatch this segment and really get my hands on it, kind of feel what they're trying to talk about here. I think they added some other speed tuning modes as well too. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Give me a break. It's like midnight here, but I think we have reasons to be optimistic, and I think it's going to really affect the PvPers and really kind of work on what kind of strategies you're going to have to employ when you're in combat and stuff like that. So we'll have to see how it works out. Obviously, this is an important one because it affects all of us because we're all flying our ships usually. Although, I think they talked about other rules besides flying, which we're going to get to coming up after this next segment, which is they touched on changes to Loreville that they want to implement. Excuse me. Not only do they want to implement it, they are implementing it. I got to be honest. I'm not sure why they're doing this. Like, I already like the way Loreville looks. It looks pretty impressive what they're doing to redesign it. As you can see, look at that city. I mean, how it's evolving and stuff like that. To me, it looks like they reused a lot of assets from Area 18, though, and just kind of reskinned it. I think I heard Morphologist talking about that a little bit. And I kind of agree, because when you look at some of these models, it does look a little bit that way. Loreville, I guess, was the first city. This is a huge jump up. Don't get me wrong, and I'm going to enjoy it a lot. And I think it needed to be done. I just would have rather have seen a new city right now. You know, I'm more excited about that. But yeah, I mean, the tram looks exactly like the tram in Area 18, just, you know, skinned in more of a Loreville gritty kind of feel to it, right? But anyway, they say they learned a lot from New Babbage. I think Jared made a comment about that this was the most restrictive fly zone in a landing area, which I believe is true. So they've really opened that up. It's going to be more like a New Babbage-like experience that you're going to fly through. So looking forward to that. But before we get into the ship talk, which is my favorite segment of Citizencon, they spent some time talking about power play, which is probably my second favorite segment, because this one had a lot to do with resource management, which, you know, us logicians love a lot, but also the resources in your ship, how they're going to remodel maybe the power distribution and how there's extra systems that are going to be involved now. Really interesting stuff that I thought came out of this panel, not just because of how the ships work, but you know, they kind of got into like there's going to be more strategy to it. Like, you may just want to damage a ship instead of destroying it because you're going to want to salvage it or take it over, right? You know, which really gets into the logistics of the game. Another really big takeaway that I got from this segment, though, is when I got into the multi-crew section. I just loved that part of it because they really spent a lot of time talking about having rules for other people to do on your ship, which I think is kind of lacking right now. Like, you know, I mean, the gunner thing does kind of work, but co-pilot functions really aren't there right now, at least not for every ship, I don't believe. And that can be a little bit boring, but I think some of the things that they want to do to add into multi-crew as far as like regulating power systems, I think they gave an example of life support, you know, being a system that you want to regulate and make sure that it's working properly. But, you know, obviously you have your gunners, they have their roles, you know, you're going to have other people who are going to be able to pilot stuff. So it's going to be more interesting stuff, not just for the pilot to run around and do some stuff. People are going to be in kind of like engineering roles as well, too. So it really reminds me a lot of, I don't know if you guys ever played Star Trek Bridge Crew, but, you know, in that game, everybody has like a different station that they have to man on you know, the bridge of a Star Trek style ship. And of course there's a captain, but in order to accomplish all the missions, all the systems have to be working together to get it done. So really adding a lot more gameplay for larger ships and multi-crew. So, which I think we sorely need, because not everybody, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be just happy to just crew a ship instead of having to fly it all the time, right? And some people are better flying and other stuff. Some people are better gunners than other people. You know, this really gives people a lot of roles. And now you're talking about logistics more too. I think at one point, I think this was towards the end when Chris Roberts was talking, but they spent a lot of time talking about like this hover trolley where you're going to manually like load cargo onto ships and things like that. So I think people are really going to enjoy those roles, you know, not necessarily doing the traditional stuff. And I think here, this is where they're talking about all the different power systems that you can regulate and stuff like that. So I'm not doing this segment justice. I think you should go back and definitely take a look at it if you missed it. There's a lot of good takeaways here and a lot of stuff that made me feel better about where they're going with the game. I just hope they get there before I die. But I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot, because there are times where I just want to chill out on the ship and just relax or do a less taxing role, but you still want to be a part of the crew. And that sort of stuff. And I think that that's where the power of the PU in a game like this comes in, right? It's going to be boring by yourself, but it's going to be much better to have that space lifestyle with your buddies, your org mates, all that stuff. And some people are just going to be better at other things and some things rather than other things, but you just want to experience it all together. Sorry, I lost my train of thought watching that guy joking back there. Anyway, check out this segment though. I really suggest it. All right, and finally, on to my favorite segment, the one that I couldn't wait to talk about, apparently. Ship Talk. This one was a really good one. I think it opened up with talking about the new Crusader Spirit line of ships that are the new concept ship that's coming out from the sale. It's going to be, let me see if I can fast forward here. This is the ship. It looks like the Normandy from Mass Effect. I think I heard a streamer saying that, and it just kind of stuck with me because I was like, I already like the design, but what does it remind me of? And anyway, it's definitely got the Normandy style. I mean, it's nothing sacred Star Citizen. I mean, I feel like they come after every game and every sci-fi genre, but I'm okay with that because I want my favorite ships from everything in the game. And who wouldn't want a Normandy style ship that competes with the Freelancer and the Cutlass Black? It's going to be sort of like an entry-level kind of ship, but it comes in 3 variants. There's going to be the C1 for hauling cargo. The A1's a light bomber version, which I thought was an interesting take to have. And then the E1 is going to be like an executive VIP transport. So this is going to be kind of like your mini Genesis Starliner, more like a Learjet for carrying around your VIPs. And the interior looks great. You know, it's got those Crusader what am I trying to say here? It's got those Crusader features that we like seeing. You know, it's got the lines, the design languages there. You have the Crusader style thrusters in the back, and it's going to be highly maneuverable like Crusader ships are. So really looking forward to this one. I think they're going to sell a ton of these just because they look great, and the pricing is fairly reasonable. I think we'll talk about that a little bit more. Actually, because it's Citizencon, I think we might just have to do a best and bad buy segment, right? A lot to talk about here. But you guys know me. I love the ships and I love the ship talk. So for me, this is great. I'm not sure I'm into an entry level. I'm just not into bombers in general. But this looks pretty cool if you can't afford the Hercules variant, which is heck expensive. So if you're looking to buy one, you know, at a cheaper rate, I think this is a good option. And who knows? Maybe I might try it out and actually like bombing gameplay, so you work up to getting the larger one. But the cargo variant one is the one I'm kind of eyeing right now, and I think we'll talk more about that a little bit later, but I think it's going to be the most functional one. And then, if you guys know me or if you've been in any one of my streams before, you know that I love the passenger missions from Elite Dangerous, so I think the executive VIP one's going to be a lot of fun as well too. Anyway, moving from Crusader onto another fan favorite is Drake. Let's fast forward here to the Drake Corsair. So, did I go too far? Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Here's the Corsair flying around, so it looks like it's really close to flyable. There we go. In the pipeline, as they say. But anyway, I love this ship. I really love what they showed us with the cockpit design of the ship. It's got that, it keeps in more to that Drake look. And, you know, I think in lore they say that all cockpits for Drake ships are based on the Cutlass. So it kind of looks like that, but it's got an extra spin on it where, like, the co-pilot actually drops down to the bottom of that cockpit back there. Let me see if I can fast forward to that section, because that really stood out to me. I was like, oh, this is hecka cool. But, I mean, you can see it's flying around already, so this looks like it's ready to come out in 4.0, I believe. So if you do have a Corsair, that's something to look forward to for sure. They kind of explained the wingspan a little bit to me, which I didn't quite get. You know, basically saying that it's foldable so that it fits in the smaller hangars and stuff like that. I think they just wanted an excuse to put on his wings. That don't really make sense, but hey. Aside from that, it really works for me. The interior of the ship looks very much like the Caterpillar. You've got captain's quarters, I believe. The mess hall looks like it was lifted straight from the Caterpillar. Let me see if I can get to that section. Okay, this is the cockpit. Check this out. See how the co-pilot drops down? Then they have the same view as the pilot pretty much up front. I thought that was really slick, really awesome about this ship. And then, let's see. Here in the interior, you can see the quarters very Drake-like, very Spartan. You just get your bed and, just enough accommodations. There is a bathroom in this one, though, so unlike the Cutlass, I think that's the only flaw with the Cutlass. This one does have a bathroom. And, let me see if they show the, I'm missing it, but definitely go back, check out the crew quarter mess hall area, the cafeteria section. Looks exactly like what's in a Caterpillar to me, so I'm gonna probably have to grab one of these, I think, for science. What can I say? But it's looking really good. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, this is the, well, it looks like the mess hall, but it doubles as also like where the crew will congregate, talk about their missions, all that stuff. This is a really good segment. I really recommend you guys go back and take a look at that. Hey, Brangwy, nice to see you're still up. Yes, this is one of the new ships, the Drake Corsair, that is coming out with 4.0. Definitely check that out. And we're not done yet. Finally, the third vehicle that they introduced is a ground vehicle, and this one was really slick to look at. But before I get there, I forgot to mention that the Corsair in the back has room to hold a Ursa rover, has a rear ramp that drops just like the Cutlass, so sticking with the Drake style of things, and enough room for your cargo. This looks like it's really going to be a great multi-crew ship in a Firefly style. Anyway, the new vehicle that is flyable today, or should I say drivable today, comes from Grey Cat. It was a big surprise, at least to me. The Grey Cat PTV. Not the PTV, I'm sorry, the STV. PTV is their buggy. Apparently the STV is the next one up in the lineup. Looks pretty slick to me. Looks very Jeepish to me, but they explained it as a new racing vehicle. It's going to be functional though. That back there in the rear, it's going to open up and you're going to be able to store 2 packages on the inside. So you'll be able to, drive your cargo back and forth. But this vehicle is, the next vehicle in the lineup, the UTV. And that's the PTV. The PTV is getting redesigned, by the way. So the buggy's going to look like that. And then the STV is going to be in the middle. So you're going to see that they're a family of vehicles and that they look very close to each other. But as of today, we have the STV, which I have in my hangar. So I'm going to be taking that out later today for a test drive. I can't wait to get my hands on that. But this vehicle is more tuned for the racers and the racing community, which I think was a good thing for them to do, because basically that's one thing that the community has done right now with the PU is they've really organized a lot of races and a lot of competitions. Why not support them? Because they're providing a lot of the gameplay that's still in development or not quite there yet. So great nod to CIG for putting this one together, in my view. And of course it debuts at a very reasonable price, and it's also a, what's the word I'm trying to look for here? It's an LTI token. That's what I'm trying to say. You can use it as an LTI token, upgrade to something else later on if you like, but these look really slick to me, and I love the paint jobs. Let me fast forward a little bit here. Room to carry 2. In the back, that's where you can store, oh, I'm sorry, that's the front. So that's where you have your components that you can service. Right here, I think they're talking about loading the back of it. This looks like they're carrying the drugs from Jumptown, so that's kind of giving us some ideas there. Maybe you want your ship further away and you just want to haul away some drugs really quick. However, 2 packages isn't really going to make you a lot of money, right? So, and I think delivery missions are 3 packages. So what are they doing here? But hey, you and your buddies can hang out together in a gang, haul some stuff. I'm cool with that. This is making me wonder though, where the heck are the bikes? Those tumbler bikes. I've been waiting forever for my Akira bike. And if they can put this together, where is that? But anyway, I'm excited to get my hands on this one and to check it out. Before we do though, let's check out the new prices of the new ships and the new ground vehicles. Because you guys know me, I love to talk about the shopping prices. in a little segment that I like to call Best and Bad Buys. So let's dive into that real quick. All right, Great Cat. Let's start out with the Great Cat STV to get us started. The STV, I keep on wanting to call it the STD, but the sports rain vehicle features nice rugged appeal to it, but it's still kind of, looks pretty nice to me. I think it's still going to be smaller than a Tumbler. We'll have to see when I actually get in game, but I kind of digging the design of this one. I don't know what you guys think. Yeah. Yeah, an STD and an STV, totally different thing. Don't make that mistake, people. And use protection. That's all I can say. Anyway, let's see how much they're back. Sorry, I just totally lost it with the STD there. Let's see how much they are recommending. What is the recommended sale price for an STV? Let's see, it's going to be $35 War Bonds, so War Bonds all cash, $40 if you're using in-store credit. But of course, it doesn't stop there. You can get the pack with the MISC Freelancer, it looks like. So apparently it's going to fit in a Freelancer for $125. And it looks like we've got some cool paint jobs here. Of course, they like to sell all the paint jobs together in a little pack. I thought there were 3 paints. Let's take a look at this one here. Because I see they've got the gray here and the electric green, which I kind of like, but I could have sworn I saw 3 paints. I could have sworn that I bought 3 paints, to be more specific, when I bought mine. But I think this is going to be a fun vehicle to drive around, and I really did enjoy driving around in the Mule, so I can't wait to see what they put together with this one. And actually, they ended Citizencon with an organized race of STVs. So anyway, $35, $45 store credit. I don't usually recommend buying anything because you can buy it in game, and especially ground vehicles are going to be super cheap. But I'm going to say I think it's a good buy. I think it's fun to play with right now, and you can use it as an LTI token only if you get it right now. And you can upgrade this to something better later on. So I think $35 isn't breaking the bank, and I think there's going to be a lot of races designed around this. Definitely know it's going to be in Daymar Rally, and they're probably going to organize more races for this if you're into that sort of gameplay. So, yeah, I probably should be giving my recommendation after we test drive it later, but I think $35, like I said, if you don't like it, you can use that as a token for something else that's going to be an even better ship. At $125, $140, I don't really think it's a great deal, but I'm going to say it's okay, only because if you buy it right now, you have 2 LTI tokens in here. One's a Freelancer, which, a little bit more, I think maybe $40 more. You can upgrade that to Freelancer Max. And you can CCU upgrade the STV. I want to call it the buggy. I know it's not the buggy, so I got to get used to that. Although it looks like just a little bit of a bigger buggy. I don't know. I like it though. It's got a nice Euro style to it and a nice rally design. But yeah, you definitely shouldn't buy ground vehicles with cash. So I'm only recommending these as LTI tokens. So technically it should be one of these, but I'm going to give it one of these as an okay buy. All right, let's talk about the new Crusader ship. That one's a little bit more complicated to unpack. These are the Spirits, which are basically your Normandy Juniors, right? Let's get this one up nice and big. The C1s are going to be competing with your Freelancers and Cullis, like I said earlier, so they're going to be kind of like an entry-level multi-purpose ship, get you into some early multi-crew action here. Just as a reminder, the A1 is going to be your bomber variant, which I think is very interesting for an entry-level ship to be used for bombing. But especially because I don't think there's a lot of gameplay around that, but you guys who are more combat-oriented could probably correct me on that one. The C1, which I think is the one that is probably the one that makes the most sense, is the cargo variant. Although I'm not really sure how the cargo bay works here. Looks like you should be able to fit a vehicle in the back, though. I mean, it looks pretty slick. And it's got a tractor beam, which is a nice feature. That's another reason why I'm kind of recommending this one, because Freelancer and Cutlass don't have that, right? And if you're like me and you happen to fly with your rear door open, which happens to me a lot, you have the opportunity to tractor back in your cargo, I suppose. Or it looks like they might be salvaging some stuff over here. I'm just wondering how many SUs of cargo this thing holds. But this is just a beautiful ship, isn't it? Yeah, size 3 tractor beam, 48 SUs of cargo, 1 size 2 shield. That's not blowing me away. Really isn't. I think it's got a buggy look to it. I don't know about that. But it's definitely screams Crusader all over that one. And then the E1 here is the executive transport. This is also one that I kind of like, but I think I can only afford to buy one. So I'm trying to figure out which one that's going to be. I think cargo's probably going to make the most money, but this is a really nice interior, very Crusader-like. I'm wondering how it's going to play when a larger Genesis Starliner comes out. But this will be able to get you into some passenger hauling missions at an entry-level price, so that's not too bad. I think one other knock on the ship, though, is that the turret is only rear-facing. Why would they do that? I hope I'm wrong about that. Let's see, a remote size 2 turret provides protection should trouble arise. Yeah, I believe that's a rear-only facing turret. So I don't know. I guess you're supposed to be able to get out of trouble with that. Very strange. Very strange thought process there. But I think, you know, they just don't like to create the perfect ship, right, in Star Citizen. So I think there's always like some sort of flaw. So anyway, let's check it out. A1, what price are they quoting us here? Oh, 155 for the A1. 175 for using your store credit. I'm not liking that for a bomber. I don't know why. I think for me, because I just don't see, I mean, I'm not a merc type, but I just don't see the value in bombing. So, but I guess if you are a merc, maybe it's something to look forward to. But for me, I'm going to say it's a bad buy for right now. I recommend not going with it. I lost my bad buy rating. Or any of my ratings didn't come up here. Let's try this again. Wow, and now you're seeing the back of my body. How did that happen? Let me scratch my back while I'm back here. Sorry about that. Having some technical problems, but even though it's not showing up, I'm going to call it a bad buy for right now. Hopefully seeing my backside is the only weird thing that you see. So yeah, we're going to call this one a bad buy. Yes, we're back. You guys can see me cringing there over this one. And bad buy on the ship pack here at 370. I think they're just kind of trying to wheel us in here. And you most likely, if you're going to buy one, you only need one anyway. But I don't think the one for me is going to be the A1. Let's see the C1, which I like. How much are they quoting us here? Cargo variant, 48 SUs of cargo. I don't know on the top of my head how much the Freelancer carries. Or the Cutlass, but I think they're around the same neighborhood here. Starting with 3 of these ships will probably give you the same amount of money that you're going to make off of trading. $100 for a C1. I don't think that's too bad for what you're getting there as far as a multi-crew ship and something that can carry a vehicle in the back. It also puts it right in there. I believe it's $10 less than a Freelancer. And I think the Cuddy is around $100. So I like this one. I think this is the one to get. I mean, for a couple reasons. I think it's a sexy beast. It is a ship that is going to be able to carry some cargo, so you're going to be able to make some money off of this. So if you're looking to upgrade your starter ship into something that's going to springboard you into other things, I think this one is possibly a good option. So definitely look at that, but stay away from this. Still not recommending this pack. And then let's take a look at the E1, the Executive Transport. Although I like this one, I don't see it being a good value for real world money. I think you should buy it in game for whatever they're quoting it's going to be. Although I love the passenger gameplay, you guys know that. I really like the Elite Dangerous passenger missions, but I don't know. I think if you're going to buy one, the cargo one is probably going to make you more money. And like I said, if you got your STD or STV, excuse me, you're going to want to be able to store that in the back. So this is 135, not quite as bad as the last one, but yeah, this is more of a luxury kind of thing. So, I mean, if you're buying into the luxury gameplay of Origin, I guess it's going to be an okay buy for you. But for me, it is definitely a bad buy. I think you can buy this one in game. So we're going to stick away from that. You like that? But anyway, yeah, this is a great ship. Definitely something I want in my hangar. I don't think I can help myself. I'm gonna have to do a video on just being a Star Citizen addict. I think I'll definitely do that. But I see myself getting a C1. I think I would feel okay with that. And maybe, just maybe, if I have a good year and have a nice bonus or something like that, maybe I treat myself to an E1. But I'm a Crusader fanboy. I kind of lean towards Crusader and both Drake too. So for me, this was a pretty good reveal. But that tractor beam, that's kind of compelling. Not too many ships have a tractor beam, right? So something to look at there for sure. Before we get out of here into gameplay with the sales, I just wanted to bring up also that there's a Halloween event going on right now. And chances to get those masks, what do they look like? The, what is it, Five Nights at Freddy's? Looking like mask. But anyway, there's also a Drake sale going on. They've also got the Vulture for sale here, so it might be, I'm thinking, is this your last chance to get a Vulture before it's released, and then it's really expensive? But they've got this schoolish paint job thing going on for Drake ships right now, and it looks like all the Drake ships are for sale, which, you know, a lot of them are limited time only sales, like the Herald. These are Five Nights at Freddy's masks that I was talking about. So if you haven't gotten those, good chance to pick those up. But yeah, it looks like the Drake lineup is for sale. I'm just going to breeze through these real quick because we talked about them before, but the Buccaneer 110 I really don't like. That one's a bad buy for me just because it's a fighter and I think you can buy it in game, and you know, being that it's a Drake, it's got the paper thin Drake hull, but it is very fast, a lot of fun to fly, don't get me wrong. And I believe that's a size 3 on top. It's a lot of fun there. 330 for the Caterpillar, very pricey, but this one is like the second largest cargo hauler in the game, and I just love it as far as like a role-playing platform. So at 330 I have to give it a bad buy, but I kind of like it. I'm really close. I wanted to say okay, but definitely buy this one in game, but it is a good ship to have. But if you're a Drake person and you get this, I mean, I'm not hating on you. I think that's a good decision. The Cutlass Black at $100. Okay, so this kind of proves that the C1 and the Cutlass are the same price. This is a good buy. I like the Cutlass. I think everybody does. Ultimate ship, does everything in the game. It's probably going to be slightly more functional than a C1, although it doesn't have that tractor beam. But I think it's got more turrets on it, so. And they're forward facing. That's a big deal. So, yeah, Cutty Black. Good buy on that one. Dragonfly Black, I love these things, but they're a bad buy because they're super cheap in game. So stay away from that. I also am a big Herald fan. One of the few Drake ships that has a bathroom in it. Although the bathroom doesn't have any doors, so that's kind of awkward for you and your co-pilot. But it's going to be a bad buy for me. Buy it in game. Although I have one in my hangar just because I like the ship. But I'm a weirdo. Don't do what I do. Mule, $45, bad buy. Although I do enjoy the ship a lot. $45 seems kind of cheap, but unless you're getting this with LTI, I wouldn't recommend buying it. You know, it's good for a token. Great fun ship to, I'm sorry, vehicle, ground vehicle to drive around in. But buy it in game. Ground vehicles are always really reasonable in game. The new Vulture at 140. This one, I think, it's tough to say because salvage gameplay is not here yet. But I think if you buy it, it's an okay buy. I'm kind of leaning towards a good buy too. At least at this price at 140. I think it's going to go up in price when it's released. So if you're thinking about a Vulture, this may be your last chance to get one. But I think salvaging has the potential to be as much fun as mining or even better. And it's going to be a really big deal. And I think they're adding salvaging to the Reclaimer also when this one gets released. But a Reclaimer is a much more expensive ship, so I think for the entry-level salvager, this is the one to get. So look at that. And I don't have any inside knowledge. I don't know how the sales work. I'm just kind of guessing that this might be the last time to get it at this price. But if you're thinking about it, good opportunity to snag it now. This one isn't for sale all the time. But anyway, that's gonna wrap it up. I tried to breeze through this really quickly because, my gosh, there's a lot of information to unpack. But I thought Citizencon had a lot of great stuff, a lot of great panels. Definitely go back there and rewatch all that stuff. At the end, Jared made a very good point that a lot of this stuff, it's the road to 4.0, but it's not exactly going to be released when 4.0 comes out. A lot of features are going to be like 4.x features. So definitely keep that in mind. You know, we're going to have to be patient like we always have to be with Star Citizen. So there's always a catch, always hooking us somewhere. But I thought it was a great show. And I'm really excited to check out my new STV. So I'm just doing it on purpose now just because it's funny. Yeah, let's check it out. I just updated my Star Citizen client, so I'm gonna load that up. If anybody wants to hang out in game, if you don't have an STV and you're on the fence about it, you can drive mine. It's Astro Nesto in game, one word. Gosh. And yeah, this totally could be like a smart car or Fiat.
Mm-hmm.
Probably was designed by Euro game designers.
It's true.
I like it. $35 well spent. I like the tire in the back and everything. Let's see, does the back open?
It looks like a little,
let's see.
like a little dune buggy.
Yeah, let's fire it up. Yeah, it's got that Grey Cat voice for sure. So far, it handles nicely.
Good.
Oh. Playing around my camera angles too much. But I like this. This is fun to drive like the PTV buggy.
Oh, yeah, those were fun.
But it feels faster.
Yeah. Wow, and those were fast.
See if I can load it up and we'll get to like the brighter side of the moon. But this definitely, it looks like it's going to be a fun race vehicle for sure. Now, I never liked loading vehicles into the standard freelancer. So we'll have to see how this goes.
Good luck. Godspeed.
Tell me about it. But if you had like something like a Hercules or a Carrack, you probably load like 5 or 6 of these.
Yeah.
Or more. Well, Hercules probably load like 10 to 15. Oh yeah, it fits. Fits in there nicely. Nice. Not only does it fit, I could probably get a couple in here, like maybe 3. I'm guessing. If I had to, I'm not gonna not going to put that to the test.
Okay.
Where are the controls on this thing? Oh, is that the engine button right there? Oh, I opened up the hood apparently.
You should work on the engine a bit.
Oh yeah, when I get out, I'm gonna play with that for sure. I wonder if that opened up the back also.
Hmm.
Uh-oh. Who's that? Somebody's landing in a cutlass. Are they coming to take my buggy?
Maybe. Don't get taken.
Yeah, I mean, a buggy definitely has enough space. I'm surprised at how much depth is back here. There's a lot of space in a freelancer.
Yeah.
Introduced.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think I'd be the only person doing this, but...
No.
Wait. Did he steal my freelancer?
Turn around. Did he? What did he
Wow.
come in? What? He really did?
I think so. I mean, it's not
Wow.
here. So...
Oh my god.
This cutlass is still here. Son of a...
Yeah.
It's alright though, just let everybody know why I muted it.
Right? I know. I'm sorry. I've ruined everything.
Giving away the secrets here.
I am. I'm sorry. I'm the worst.
No. That's what I'm supposed to say, right?
Right. That is the correct answer. Like, actually. Yeah, you are.
Oh, no.
Not again.
Let me see. I decided to open it because I wanted to see if the back will open. See, I totally meant to do this.
Uh-huh.
That's cool. This does kind of give you like, I don't know. Feel like a man working on your car here.
A manly car repairing man.
This is the back, I guess, for the cargo.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. I like what they're going for there. Gotta do that with the tumbrils. Tumbler. I get like every name wrong.
It's part of your charm.
Yeah, it's kind of like my thing.
Yeah.
Alright, well, this is not flipping around.
Yeah. Don't want that.
It's actually driving around kind of nicely. I like it. Wow, it's really zippy. But pretty responsive, too.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't drive it into a post.
Right.
As we can see there, let me just take it on a quick drive. They're risky. That's pretty fast for only like 10 kilometers per hour. It's fun though. Yeah, it's nice to actually have it in the daylight. Yeah, you know, we gotta totally... I know we said this last year, but we gotta do the Daymar rally this year.
Yeah, we do.
It'll be comical.
Yes, it definitely will.
That was a nice jump. like they're just adding so much to make racing more viable.
They are, and they need to plan something actually in game that makes it worth doing.
Yeah. Well, they have that racetrack, right?
I mean, like in-game prizes. Like you win this game, you get these credits and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. That'd be nice. Oh, you mean like mission types?
Yeah.
Maybe racing against NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
That would be something. I also feel like since it's a year that they're spending a lot of time working on like Squadron 42 ground vehicles, an easy one for them to throw in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they probably made a killing on sales.
Probably.
But you know, it's kind of good because the well, I mean the Cyclones are pretty good, but I feel like the buggy is kind of like in a class of its own because it's got that small form factor that fits in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have this. Alright, now the moment of truth. Does it fit in? I imagine it would.
Probably.
Yeah, I think not only will this fit, I think the buggy will fit also. I like the interior though. It looks like it's got nice leather stitching going on here. And sorry, hopefully you didn't hear my stomach again.
I thought that was someone in the other room, but well, nope.
Let's see. In the 400i, it's going to be tight. I don't think a buggy's going to fit back there. So Origin.
Yeah.
I mean, they just can't do it. They just can't build a functional ship.
You're asking a lot.
At least not fully functional. Actually, though, I think people have said that they got this to fit in the bike bay in the front.
It
looks like it will fit. Oh, yeah. Room to spare.
Excellent.
Gotta love the buggy. That's nice. Yeah, no, I think myself and a lot of people are going to want to race now. There's something else to do. To be competitive.
Right.
Yeah. It's the ticket. And I mean, seeing as how this fits in pretty much everything, even an Origin ship. I'll let it bounce to the step, though.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, it's hitting that time, and my stomach's telling me it's time to to find my pop filter, but also to probably wrap up this stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the recap of Citizencon, and Also, the little quick preview of the STV from Gay Cat. I like what I see so far. Personal decision whether you're going to buy it or not, but I think if you do, you're not going to be too disappointed. And right now, it's a nice LTI token, which you can use to upgrade to something else, so it's definitely something else to consider if you want to support the game. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the recap. This is Astro Nesto signing off with a very hungry stomach, saying 07, and I'll see you next time.